Hey, yo, what's poppin'? I'm back. And look who I got with me. My guy, Eric Blaze. How you doing, Eric?
All right. I told you I need to put my teeth in.
Ah! Ooh, take him out. He said he put his teeth in and come over and talk to me. Y'all ready for this? It's gonna get real good because he did that. How you feeling today? It was a beautiful day today, huh?
Nice day yesterday and today.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on. You in this mayoral campaign?
About your show. I'm proud to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much for even coming to join me
Looking
today.
at the technology, how we had it set up.
Yeah.
The technician.
You like it?
Oh man.
You
Maybe
like
you'll have me back again sometime.
Listen, anytime.
Not anything.
Anytime.
Not when I'm getting put out wrongfully from a council meeting.
You can still come on.
But they got me in handcuffs.
Listen, you want me to come? I can go live from there. We can talk all the way out across the street.
Just keep a Snickers on that. They don't mind the Snickers.
I got you. You just need a little commissary.
Oh man, it's a little much right now.
It's a little much.
Yeah, politics got hit.
Tell me something. Okay, so I want to talk about the mayoral race real quick.
I want to talk.
You want to talk about? That's where I want to come back.
Yeah,
I want to talk about a lot of stuff. So I definitely want to talk about that.
Whatever you choose.
So what made you decide you was putting your hat in this time?
A variety of things.
Okay.
I understand the mechanics of how things work.
Yeah.
And I believe that we can deliver to our community better than what we've been getting. Yeah. And I know that position you can make some things happen. Yeah. And plus, this is my 8th, 9th year on city council. Mm-hmm. You make about 500-600 every 2 weeks. Yeah. The mayor make about 5,000 every 2 weeks. If I'm gonna be in politics,
you say you got to make the math work for you.
Yeah, I figure it's better to, earn a better living and then take care of folks at the same time. Okay. I've been answering the phone and taking care of folks for 8-9 years.
You have.
For what I believe is the wrong pay. I believe city council should be full-time and have a staff person.
I agree.
And this council has convinced me of that because they knew. And it takes time to learn the mechanics of how things work. And then, even though people look at council meetings, my bigger job happens kind of away from council meetings. Yeah. Because you get a lot of phone calls.
A lot.
I might average 8 to 14 a day.
Yeah.
Some days it might get up to 20. I've been doing that for 8-9 years. Mm-hmm. And so it add up. But the good part about that is you done help people. Yeah. And when you help people out in the communities, they remember. And they support you sometimes based upon the work you've already done.
I am a firm believer of follow up, right? And being available, especially when you're in a position like that. And I think that that's a lot of the things that some of the people that are consistently behind you appreciate about you, that you will follow up, you'll get an answer, you'll answer the phone, because I know that before even in this situation that I'm in right now, to be able to have you on this show, I've called you a couple times. You answered the phone. I asked you a couple questions. You gave me an answer. One time you said, I don't know right now. Can I call you back and let you know? And you did. And you called me back and you gave me an answer. You did not forget. That's the one thing that I appreciated, things like that, because follow-up is very important to me.
Yeah, for a council person, who you have in the mayor's seat and who that mayor have around him as or her
Yeah.
in various department heads and situations. And when I talk department heads, I'm talking about from chief of police to street maintenance to any of those departments, water department. If you don't have the right people who can do good work and get stuff done, it makes it tough for a council person.
Yeah.
This is my third administration. When you hear me refer to administration, that's the mayor's.
Yeah.
It's my third administration, and all of them ain't been responsive. Under the law, a council person can't order this or that done. Fix that sidewalk. That tree bell, go pick it up. You have to ask.
Right.
A council person can inquire and request. A mayor can order and dictate.
So
on a day-to-day basis.
It's a lot that goes on with this, and I think that people forget how important the local is. I think people forget how powerful the local is.
Politics is local.
Absolutely.
And that's why I ran for state rep, and then I like local government.
I understand that. And so I say that a lot, like not even being able to talk to you or Dr. Weaver or any of the other council people that I've talked to. But I always remind people, especially when it's voting time, to make sure if you don't vote anywhere else, make sure you vote in the local. It's so important to vote in the local. And it's important for me to tell young people to make sure that you watch the local and you vote in the local and how important it is for them to vote. But I think that people forget that. And I think that they forget how important it is for the mayor and the council people to work together because they don't see it.
Well, what do we mean by work together? The 5 or 6 council votes controls the money.
Correct.
The purse strings. And the council, I can't call 3, 4, 5 council people outside of a meeting. It's illegal. It's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. That would make my job easier if you could cheat and call people and make stuff, get line stuff up before you got to a council meeting. Some of them do, but I have not did that in 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
And so I try to follow the rules. I only talk to one council person outside of a meeting. When you start talking to 3 and 4, it's in violation of the law. Okay. The mayor can call council persons down to the office. But a good mayor, he wouldn't play his politics, or she wouldn't play her politics like that. A good mayor, in my opinion, would attend those meetings, those council meetings regularly, and would work together in the public eye, right there on the spot, and would have his or her staff there as needed.
Yeah.
I hear them complain about how long council meetings should be. They can be as long as council wants them to be. They can recess and come back the next day. If it was full time, they could start meeting at 9, 10 in the morning when folks there. If I'm the mayor, people don't have to come to work on council day until they get to council meeting.
Yeah.
Every department head got staff. And if they think it's a long night, then they could come in at 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon and then stay to 7, 8, 9 at night.
Yeah.
It's a way to allow your staff and yourself to schedule time and take care of the business of the city of Flint. I bet you it's more effective when folks working together to do it in a public open meeting rather than closed doors behind the scenes.
I'm glad you said that because it's hard sometimes to either be at the council meeting or watch the council meeting and not see 9 people that supposedly love the city of Flint, are there for the city of Flint to see it progress and prosper and grow back into what it once was, right? And even better and beyond, right? And so these 9 council people are all supposed to have that same agenda, right? So here's the thing for me, what bothers me.
What's funny to me is that these new ones ran, and some of them I thought was excited, but they already got bad absentee is on records in the first 5 or 6 months. It's a bad start.
Yeah, absolutely bad. You know, some of the attendance is like deplorable, and I've talked about that a lot. But my problem is that we're all supposed to be a love for Flint is supposed to be, you know, progressing Flint forward. So I ask this and I say this all the time to everybody that comes to me, like, what's the problem? Why is it that? Because here's the way I think about it and how I figure it, right? Because if I was able to, like, as you see, I don't live in this actual city limits, but if I was to be
in Councilman,
I'll be all something wrong.
I was a feature book for kindergarten, 5th grade.
See, there you go. I just believe that if the third ward needed something and we all collectively agree and it made sense, then we all would vote on it and say, yeah, right? If the first ward needed something and we all collectively agree on it and it makes sense, then we would say yes about it. But it's so crazy, or even the 4th ward or the 9th ward or whatever ward it is, right? But what bothers me is that it can be something very beneficial for that neighborhood, for that ward, and everybody will. You got 1 or 2 maybe to vote for it and say yeah, and then you got the rest of them is no, 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 and I'll just be like, and I literally, and I know you've seen it because I sit there in the front and I'm like, for real? And I look over at, you know, it's not that many people in there, and I'm just like, for real? Are you serious? I thought you were the most hated man in Flint, but no, you're not. I wasn't.
No, I ain't even in the same league. Let me put it this way.
Most hated man right now.
One of the best examples of a project, whether it's in the 1st ward, this ward, or that ward, was the North End Flint food market.
Yeah.
You had Pastor Flynn and Thrill Kill and them went out and gathered 1,000 or so members, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you was there, but members came to council meeting. And the price tag on that project was about $600,000. And it surprised me that the majority of council wouldn't fund that project. And it surprised me all the excuses that I heard. And some of those excuses turned out to be not true.
Yeah.
For example, Hurton Road and Priestley was saying we need to budget all the money first before we spend money. They spent $16 million, gave money to the land bank. They spent money for the compliance firm, Ernst & Young. They spent $1.8 million for the Miller Road project.
Yeah.
And so that's why I believe that, you know, it's something going on. If you got 5 Black on the council, we always hollering about equity in the North Side, taking care of our community. Low unemployment rate in our community, jobs, and you know what we can do to make a better quality of life for our community. If you got a Black mayor and 5 Black council people, I done been on the council when it's 6. Why you can't get them to cooperate and do some equitable projects for our community like they do downtown? And when the big shots come in, you know, it tripped me out that the big shots come in and say $16 million to tear down houses. I ain't go with that. We're gonna put some more money with it. Y'all could have put that money with it before we had our $16 million, if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But it's a way to get their hands into our pots of money. Now I vote in favor of that, but then why we can't put $6 million or $8 million to build new houses, get folks in them in our neighborhood? You got empty lots everywhere. You ain't gonna worry about folks dumping if it's a house there.
Absolutely.
But if it's empty houses and no houses, they dump. We can put nice ranch style houses and basement type houses, in our neighborhood on Russell, Marengo, Piper, and we do 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
I seen them in council meeting the other day bring a blueprint for some houses over there by Kettering. And so it be tripping me out that we in leadership positions and don't direct the ship. Woodrow did good when he was Mayor, Woodrow Stanley. Look at University Park and how it's still standing. My dad, Pastor Mays, he came and we talked, and he wanted to do Shiloh Commons apartments.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Absolutely.
It's things that we can do to help people and give people generational wealth from government.
Right.
And it surprises me that some of us kill the messenger and wait for so-called big shots to come and try to spend their money.
That's a problem for me, killing the messenger without listening to the message. So you kill the message when you kill the messenger, right? So yeah, I've seen it done several times.
I've experienced it.
Yeah. Well, so have you been to Pontiac at all lately?
No, I used to work in Pontiac.
So here's
bus. I ain't been
okay. So listen, they had some of the same issues with like blight and things like that. They had some redistricting going on between them and Auburn Hills, and they had some things going on. And what I noticed is that they have, just like on the east side, them little tiny houses and little space like that. Yeah. There's a lot of that there in their world.
I went and toured in Detroit and looked at some of them tiny houses.
Yeah.
They was thinking about putting some on Pearson Road where they had tore down suspect apartments, but I haven't heard any more about it.
So even the houses that's on the east side, like maybe 927 square feet, 2 small bedrooms, just real small houses like that. A lot of them are torn down, or they're a lot of blight on it, or need to be torn down. And from my understanding, excuse me, the ordinance says that you can't build on there because it's too small of a lot. So the house wouldn't be built. Thank you, because that's where I'm going. That's where I was going with that. Why hasn't anyone decided to bring a motion to change that ordinance so that houses can go up? Because I know that they're doing it there, and I know that even though you can't build out, you can build up.
Do you remember when Kerry Nelson was the 3rd Ward council person? Did you remember him?
Yeah.
We blocked that no deal in the master plan. He was 3rd Ward, I was 1st Ward. They had a bunch of green space with no bills.
Yeah.
Even though Kerry and I didn't see eye to eye on everything, we blocked that, and we forced them where you can build. Even this council, to this day, we can change or amend the law.
Absolutely.
We can change and amend the so-called master plan, and we can make it where we can build. And I don't think houses have to be tiny.
No.
I don't mind building on 2 or 3 lots.
Absolutely.
And when you go inside the house, you got your flat screen TVs, your play bin is new, it's painted nice. When people see what you can do, they'll start doing it too.
Absolutely.
We don't have to just build the same size houses and the same type of houses.
Yeah.
In 2022.
Yeah.
And there are some houses that don't need tearing down. They can be rehabbed. There's some houses that we can help people with roofs and vinyl siding. So when I talk about new builds, I'm also talking about getting money in our community to rehab and help folks fix up property. It's on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one second. I know some of y'all get a little testy, y'all get a little spicy, y'all get, as I say, a little too much hot sauce in your throat. I'm not really looking at all the comments. I'll get there and I'll ask some of them questions, but we gonna get to a little Q&A right now.
I'm liking this because I'm seeing how people talk and act. You got some ignorant folks. Look at this person. I don't know him from Adam J. Smith. Oh, look, Captain Hennessy continues his campaign. No, this is Councilman Mays, Mr. Mays. I could call you names. I could call other folks names. And that's what gets it started. People tell me to ignore y'all and this. Look, y'all troll. AZZ, maze haters need to stop. It's all kind of folks.
No, I was saying, speaking of.
Yeah, but here's the thing for me.
When I look at some of these folks on different programs, it'd be some white folks, it'd be some nasty folks. You got some ignorant blacks.
Absolutely.
And you got some ignorant whites.
But
the majority of folks are decent.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. For me and my platform, I don't do that. And y'all know I don't do that. And some of y'all may not do it. They can do what they want. But they gonna suffer the consequence of what comes from me. Now let me tell y'all this. I don't do that. I don't be doing all that back and forth, and I'm not gonna be doing all that back and forth. I'm not gonna block nobody. I'm not gonna do nothing. But I'm gonna tell you this, just like I said before, watch how you talk to me. So make sure when you come on here with all of that, you ready to take whatever to come with it. I don't do that disrespect. So make sure you don't be disrespectful on here, because I do not do that disrespect. I refuse to tolerate the disrespect. Say what you want, but say it.
You go high.
Hell no. No, I don't. I ain't no public official. I ain't got to go no goddamn where. Don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. Don't come on here with that shit. I'm telling you right now, this is not the place. This is not the place. I'm not that platform, and I'm not them other niggas. Do not get on here with that. I'm not about to play like that. So y'all make sure y'all keep it cute or get on. I'm telling you right now, I'm not for that. For real. I'm not about to do it. I don't play like that. Don't come on here being disrespectful to people. I do not like that. I do not play like that. Church folks, all of that. I don't do that. I do not play that disrespect. Don't do that, because you're going to piss me off. And I'll be so nice on here, and I'll be chilling, but don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be disrespectful.
You know what I experienced? I think it was yesterday. A particular council person requested that I lead a meeting. I was just asking questions about the budget to the finance director, who should be there with each department. In my opinion, whether the finance director is there with streets, the mayor's office, the police department, that's the overall finance person. When I was interrupted and asked to leave the meeting, I said, leave for what? Do you know when Chief Green came over, it tripped me out because this particular person had been on your show, cussed me out off camera. And it tripped me out. Now I want to take and cuss back, but I took the high road. And you know, I'll call their names. I don't care how cute and how they talk and how folks' glasses look, but Tanya Burns shouldn't have cussed me out yesterday, because that's contrary to what she tried to portray. And so I stay away from folks who talk and act like that, one way here, one way there. I might talk a certain way, but I ain't really known for cussing folks out. But I'll give you some nicknames. Liddell Lewis tripped me out when they put me out, and then I watched the video, and guess what she said?
What she said?
He called me MFs and B words. That ain't true. I never called her that, even away from her. Now, I gave a nickname, but you don't want to hear it. It's funny.
You know why? I'll tell you that.
People should leave people alone.
They should.
The guy who talked about Captain Hennessy, I could talk about his mom and his kids. He get mad. But you can't play with grown folks out here. People taking offense, people doing stuff. It's a way to do it and not be all. Now, these people don't know me from Adam.
How do you deal with the lying, though?
A liar is worse than a thief in some cases. You want a politician that's going to be honest, that you can trust and tell the truth. I see people on social media, they'll lie. I know council people who will lie. Think back to before this new council was elected. One council candidate in particular, it was a man calling in our council meetings. He was saying, I knew Mr. Murphy, when he was doing certain things, selling drugs, whatever, Mr. Murphy railed up against him. When we went to the jail dealing with the registered voters, Mr. Murphy admitted it. He said, I used to be a dope dealer. And so I said, well, why was he arguing and saying that the guy was wrong? The other day in council meeting, he said something that kind of caught me off guard and said, if he was still in that type of life, kind of implied something would happen to me. So I don't like people who lie. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
If I had, and I did, I was out at the cabaret at Local 599, and you know, we had a couple drinks. People who know me know I really don't drink day-to-day regular, whatever. And so they say I was going the wrong way with 4 flats. That wasn't true. I represented myself in a jury trial. The jury heard all the details, and I was not guilty of drunk driving. So I just listen to people who continue these same old sad songs and will try to discredit you. And then I look at the mainstream media. It wasn't no headlines when I got them 4 not guilty. I remember taking my teeth out saying, if the teeth fit, you must acquit, because they had did the breathalyzer wrong. And I thought about that. I'm going to represent myself in the case against city council when I told them to handcuff me because I wasn't really breaking no rules and law. Now, when I did that, guess why I did?
Why you do it?
Because when you get arrested and you go to court, I got to go by May the 23rd. You can plead guilty or not guilty.
Yeah.
I'm going to plead not guilty. Guess who's going to represent me?
Who's going to represent you?
And guess what I get to do? Ask for a jury trial. I get to put each council person on the witness stand. And if they lie on the oath, they commit perjury and they lose their council seat. One of my main questions is going to be, when somebody asks to be excused in a council meeting and they come back, have they ever had to have permission to come back? Hergenrode in that council put me out of the meeting for trying to come back in the meeting after I had been properly excused. I'm going to dare each one of them to lie and go. I don't know if that trial will happen before the August primary or after, but I can assure you I'll be pleading not guilty, representing myself, and putting them counsel people and attorney them on the witness stand if I can. Let me calm down. I've seen that foolishness about Captain Hennessy, and I just kind of went off. You kind of did too. But I want to see who those folks here. Now, who walks up to a grown person and mess with them? What they do in social media, it'd be like some funny actors, cowardly folks. I don't want them to matter. And they sit back and they talk. I get calls from Arizona, Colorado, Mississippi. We got support all across the nation.
Absolutely.
But every now and then you get 10 or 12 fools.
Yeah.
You get calls on your phone calling you the N-word. People hanging up. I had to tell a guy the other day, because he was foolish. He called with his regular number. And it was 3 or 4 people around me. We put it on speakerphone, and I told him you'll trace that call. That call stopped.
Well,
so
I just want to ask. I just want to ask J. Smith, why are you here? If Councilman Mays bothers you so much and you got that many problems with him, why are you here? Is it because you like to see his face? You coming on here being a troll, you saying all of this? Like, I'm just not understanding, like, why are you here?
This moment of pain.
Well, is it really? Yeah. Because what he's doing for me, and I appreciate you very much, you're giving me a view, you're giving me comments, you just racking it up for me. So I really appreciate you. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Remember, I said, watch your mouth. everything would be good. Listen, so here's the thing.
I could create a rhyme about it.
I know you could. But listen, because here's the thing. You can say what you want. You can do what you want. You can do all of that. And what purpose is it serving you? I just always believe that misery loves company. And if you that kind of miserable where you gotta be talking about people and doing all the time, because here's the thing that I love. I think that you should attack on the policies, attack on the things that they do, attack on the things, as it relates to the public office. Not attacking their character and things like that.
School, we used to call it panning.
Yep.
I don't mind panning folks. That's the problem they got. I grew up in the era with panning.
Absolutely.
And so when it comes to me, they don't be wanting me to say white folks, black folks. They don't want me to talk about nobody's glasses. I seen a council person talk about my brain, and then I talk about his skin. Well, you can't talk about his skin. Well, he talked about my brain.
Yeah.
I seen a council person initiate removal from council and legal opinions, and I talked about their glasses. We called it panning.
Right.
I don't call anybody out. We used to sit and pan and talk. Me and Maggie Johnson, them up at Michigan State, used to stand out in front of the dorm and be panning and talking. He had great time all with us. So I'm used to panning, but it takes away and it distracts from the business of the city. Right.
So there was a question in here from Chris Caleb, and he said, "Weren't you supposed to be the mayor in 2015?"
That must have been the year when they gave the filing deadline for the clerk's office. Ms. Brown gave a filing deadline, and everybody else filed late. I filed on time, and I was the only one on the ballot. Man, people went to tripping, and the governor, the lieutenant governor, they found emails saying, "We got to stop this guy." We had emergency managers in. The only way you could have tried to beat me was a write-in. And so they changed the law in 12 days, unprecedented. Senator Anthony, Mr. Neely, the governor, they introduced a law to put Dane Walling, who they was trying to help, and Weaver back on the ballot. And at that time, Juan Twist Davis was in the race. So they put all three of them back on the ballot. I came in third place. And I shouldn't have even had no opponent. I said, I'm going to be the mayor of my hometown. So I went on to help Weaver win and support her. Yeah. And people put their heads together and we declared the emergency for the water crisis. Okay. So 214, 215. They stopped me wrongfully then. I'm back in the race now. We've had time to look and see what people have done and not done. Yeah. And I'm not going to spend $100,000 in billboards and signs. Right. Look like there's going to be a word of mouth campaign. Okay. We might not get this clown vote calling me out my name, but there might be a bunch more we will get. And so I'm happy about what I'm going to do. And I'm used to not getting 100% of the vote. Yeah. If you get 51%, 60%, 49% of the people can talk about you. They crucified Jesus. People couldn't look at him, even some of his disciples, and know who he was and seen who he was. So who am I? If I'm just a mortal man, can't part the Red Sea, can't walk on water, I don't expect this Jay or nobody else who want to pan and talk about me to see who I am, to see my heart, my brain, and what I can demonstrate I can do to help folks. I'll be 64 in September. Right. I might be dead before I hit 64, 65, or 67. If I choose to be a public servant and I want to help people, they can talk about me till the cows come home. But when they show who they are, and if they don't get mad, I can call them names and talk back. I know that them council people talk about me like a dog. And when I say something, people get excited.
Yeah,
that
they feel
tickles
attacked.
me.
Yeah. So Jaleel had a question.
Not the real Jaleel.
Yes, Jaleel.
What Jaleel talking about?
Hey, Jaleel, peace God. He said, why does council keep approving apartment builds with 50-year tax breaks rather than push for houses being built with homeowners?
Because maybe people in the community, including the Nation of Islam and others, ain't held them accountable. See, you can put folks in office, but before I was on the council, I used to come down and speak on that microphone. Before COVID-19, it used to be more council, more residential lobbying council. Yeah. People react sometimes, politicians, to public pressure. Yeah. They react to crowds of people. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have to do it. Jaleel, we should be putting money in our community. We should be helping developers benefit from these projects. I think one of the worst deals I've seen that people ain't speaking on, and it don't always be white folks, it be black folks. Yeah. One of the worst deals was when Mr. Neely sat W.T. Stevenson down. Hmm. I call him the Magic Johnson and the Michael Jordan of the pipe replacement program. Yeah. They had black folks out there digging holes, replacing pipes, and they was throwing down. They had broke all records for bidding on contracts, 31 million. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, because some of them supported Weaver, Neely shut them down. Yeah. I done seen things happen with me because of my philosophy and who I support. So, Jaleel, I want to see if with this COVID-19 money, we can fund developments in our community. Mm-hmm. We can even fund developments in their community. Yeah. But in the majority city, where we represent most of the people, we shouldn't be shutting black folks down out of spite, such as what happened with WT. They gave Goyette $1 million and satisfied them, the white company. But then when it comes to the black folks, Jeff Brill, Rhonda Stevens, and them, they shut them down, and they still shut down. Mm-hmm. People should be in an uproar. Yeah. We should be breaking their money loose. Yeah. And when we got a majority council and a fair, honest, trustworthy black mayor, it shouldn't happen. So if your question is, why are we doing developments? One of the developers came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. His name is Glenn Wilson, a black guy, him and his white community person. Mm-hmm. I purposely gave him some action and some play and voted for him. You know, sometimes folks get mentored, or maybe the Mott Foundation got their hand in it. But I'll give Jaleel, I think Jaleel do contracting. I give Glenn Wilson, I give different people an opportunity. But when I know people is really from the hood and they're trying to do business and feed their family and help people get good paying jobs, we owe it to help them. And we shouldn't have to argue and fight to give folk a chance. It's a project happened in the old days, and I'll take a breath. It was called Auto Work. Yep. These folks put together 63 million. Yeah, yeah. And like it's going to be a big time theme park. We didn't believe it then, and right now it's gone. It is gone. I see other folks when they're in control, they'll take a chance on projects. They'll take a chance on their buddies. We get in there and we scared to take a chance on our own people. When I did that with North Flint Food Market, trying to help Pastor Flint and Braille Care and the people in the middle of their construction. One of the black council persons, female, in the second ward, said I was trying to bring it through the back door, the side door. The council is the front door.
Yeah.
I said, why do we talk so bad about each other?
Yeah.
And then when somebody say something back at you, pan on you, oh, May should ignore that. He should be quiet. I didn't run for office to be quiet. My reputation ain't gonna be to be quiet.
Yeah. They can talk about you and it's all right.
They can talk about me, it's all right.
I want to address that. And I said I wasn't going to address it, but since we keep bringing that up, I want to address that. First of all, that's my favorite thing you do is when you do that for me. I crack up. It's so funny to me. But
he can't talk like that. I'll point him more. He can't. He's my enemy.
I think that is very crass of people to be. Terrence, Jaleel answered your question in the chat. If you go look in the chat, he answered your question. It was Eva Worthy. So I think that is really crazy that they can say that they have a mother. What if you're talking about that mother? What if did you hatch out a damn egg? You don't have a mama? You don't have no family? You don't have no sister live up the street? Grandchildren? Children? Like, what is the deal? I
remember.
Are you three? All blacks are supposed to be 3 fifths of a human. What are you? Are you a quarter? Because they show acting like you are.
Whatever I am, I try to have big skin.
I'm not talking about that right now. We're talking about
I'm gonna say something back to them.
Yeah.
You know, I rile them up. But philosophically, when Hillary was running against Trump,
yeah,
you look at the big national debate. Trump looked over at Hillary and said something out of nasty woman. I'd have said, man, they say you've been grabbing women, your hair swooped to the side, and people would have remembered it. My politics of survival is you don't let nobody set the narrative on you. If you find people want to set the narrative on you, you straighten it out.
Right.
Now, people tell me that I should say it one time and move on. Sometimes it takes 2, 3 times to put stuff in folks' mind. And sometimes, you know, like social media, if you look back 3, 4, 5 years ago, I used to go on social media and I'd go back and forth with it. It never ends.
It's a rabbit hole, isn't it?
It's never
ends. A rabbit hole.
I don't even go on social media too much now. People be telling me what people be saying. I be laughing. I hear enough mess in council meetings sometimes.
Yeah.
You got people want to criticize me. Some of them been there 5, 6 months. Don't understand that we act by resolution and ordinance. Don't understand that we control the purse strings. And you got people from the Neely administration lying to them, the city attorney. You got the finance director telling them they can't introduce a resolution to do with money.
Yeah. Man,
you can introduce a resolution to do with anything in the city, and if the mayor veto it, 6 votes override it. Okay. Now I'm trying to tell them what I know, and they're killing the messenger.
Yeah.
They're killing the messenger, and they don't know. Now, when they find out, it's gonna trip them out. That's like at the beginning of the meeting. I'm the president. I'm the senior council president. I say, let's suspend the rules until y'all learn them, and it'll make it easy. Just act with common sense.
All of them, even the goofy rules?
Yeah, I say suspend it. They voted the first 2, 3 meetings, people complimenting us, the meeting's going well. Then all of a sudden, Liddell, Lewis, Quincy, Herkin wrote in there, we don't want to suspend the rules. One of the first things happened under them goofy rules. Liddell Lewis got up to go to the bathroom without asking, which was a rule.
I
then they went all on social media trying to blame me. I had to go to the potty and all of that. Well, you should have voted to suspend the rule. And you'd have just got up and come back. And then they blamed me when she appealed my decision. The majority of the council wouldn't let her back in. But so I'm just saying, people learn.
Yeah.
If you just watch people, some of them act like they know, and then they don't know. I remember when I was jockeying to be president, Miss Lewis agreed to vote for me. The next day, she called me and implied like she had the votes with some folks, and then asked me to be her vice president. I told her, no, I'm running for president. That would kind of be embarrassing. And we had agreed, we met, Tanya Burns, Liddell Lewis, Jerry Winfrey Carter, and myself met at Tanya Burns' house before Tanya Burns and Liddell Lewis got sworn in. Because after they got sworn in, you couldn't have that meeting. So before they got sworn in, we met, and we had agreed that I'd be president and Liddell would be vice president. About time she went to maneuvering and we got to the meeting, she voted for Herkenroder for vice president. I said, here's some silly politicians. They won't even vote for themselves, jockeying, trying to do something. And we got 5 years.
Wow.
I could have helped you learn. I don't care if I'm the president this year, next year, whatever. But it's just a learning curve.
Yeah.
And so I've seen people get offended. I remember offering Quincy Murphy a chairmanship. And she turned it down, and to me in a nasty way. I tried to show people something and gave it to Eva Worthy, chairperson of grants, who I already knew acted a fool. So what I do, I do what people say. I try to help people who don't like me and move on. But then next thing I know, Quincy and other folks, even them, was talking about me like a dog.
Yeah.
So all bets is off.
Okay.
All bets is off. And right now they still off. And I've expanded my horizon. I remember when I wanted Councilman Griggs gone. He was tripping me out in the council meetings from the 8th Ward. So Fife and them called, and me and Richard Jones and some of them went over there and helped got signatures because I got a political consulting firm.
Right.
And they paid, and I paid people, and then stood on another school in the primary, and we were successful and got Pfeiffer in there. He done turned on me so fast in this presidency thing, I don't even say nothing to him. When I won president, traditionally, they'll move to the big office. I ain't moved to the big office. I've been in my same little office in council for 8-9 years.
Yeah.
I let Piper them have the big office. I remember when Monica Galloway and Kate Fields was transitioning, and Kate was going crazy over Monica, the big office. Once I proved that these folks done wrong with me, and that affects the people I represent, they can have president, resident, vice, mice, whatever. See if you can get the job done for the people. You're going to be a hero, but don't try to be a hero on my back and my reputation, because I'm not going to stand for it. You say something about me out the way once or twice, I'm going to say something 5 or 6 times. And it's going to make them mad. And it have been making them mad. They should cease fire. It's like when Eva Worthy used the term ghetto.
Right.
Then a day or two later in national media, she apologized.
Right.
Well, we some forgiving folks. We might can accept your apology, but when y'all gonna apologize to me and start over? If somebody gonna apologize, Tanya Burns, Pfeiffer, or Quincy, we shouldn't be messing with you. We apologize. Here's your presidency back. You don't have to go to court. If everybody wanna apologize and make their reputation off of me, I've seen it with the council, with Juan Wes Davis and Scott Kincaid now. I've seen it with the council, with Kate Fields and Maurice Davis. Maurice had a podcast used to dog me out. And now I see it with this council. Why do people come on the council and figure they can be heroes and make their reputation off of trying to handle me? I'm more like Coleman Young. I ain't gonna bite my tongue. I ain't gonna Coleman Young call President Reagan prune face. People shouldn't mess with folks because when we pan and talk, people get mad.
No, they can't handle it. I got in trouble, but we'll get on that. I got in trouble for that. And the people, like I said, it's all right for them to talk about you. They can get away with it. I look at them as hypocrites.
Yeah. It is some hypocrites.
I look at them as big hypocrites.
She scared me when she went to talk to that.
I don't like that. I don't like to do disrespectful. I don't do the disrespect on my platform. I don't do that.
I see it, and I be saying this, and these are church folks. But I know if I go in another group and say something, I don't even, they come over here. They don't see me blocking them, but over there they go to whine. But like I was told, on the hit dog holler.
Only a hit dog holler.
Because all I said was, in neighborhoods, one person jumped up. I ain't going to neighbor. I'm not going to go to hell. How can I send somebody to hell?
And what happened is the vast majority of people don't watch and keep up, but it's a handful of people who they try to watch every meeting, they in on that mess, and they figure they the stars. And they really think they affecting popular opinion, and they not. They affecting their Facebook crowd. They might be affecting 500, 600 people or whatever, but we in a community dealing with 20, 30, 40,000 voters. You know, in the first ward is usually 1,800, 2,200 people vote. Guess how many voted when Barack Obama ran in the first ward?
How many?
Over 6,000.
In the first ward?
In the first ward alone, it always usually be 1,400, 1,800. Then when Barack Obama ran, you had people with hanging, faggots, fast, backward hats, everybody come out. We on the polls laughing and talking. And these people is excited now.
Yeah.
There's people not just in the first ward, but across the city. Middle-aged folks, young folks, church folks, and others who saying, Maze, we're going to give you a shot. I was watching the Kentucky Derby the other day. I bet on. And I had bet on the 3 horse and the 10 horse.
Yeah.
And them 3 and 10 horses were running. I say, man, look like I'm in the wing. Next thing I know, that 21 horse came up there, just 80 to 1.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in long shots.
There you go.
I'm a firm believer in God. You tell the truth, you be honest, people can make stuff happen for you. And so I didn't know I was going to talk this much. I thought I'd be arrested. I thought the police had been come putting me out of here.
No, I like to let y'all talk and get it off, because there's a lot of things, you can't say on council, or things that you want to say or get off, and I don't want to censor nobody. I want you to be able to say it how you need to say it without having a point of order or getting handcuffed or any of that. Now, would you saying you like long shots? You being the long shot, right?
I'm not a long shot.
I don't think you're the long shot anymore, but hey, it's just my opinion.
We'll see.
It's my opinion.
We always say expect the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah. So let's say you did. You got in.
You want me to get you chief of staff?
Hell yeah. Shit, yeah. You don't make me chief of staff?
What about the 6 months you didn't work out? I'll let you go.
Huh? After 6 months? Hey,
you would be on their butt, they'd be messing with me once.
Yeah.
Listen.
But here's the thing. If
I know people arrest.
Chief of
No, listen. Here's the difference between that.
Some real people
if I'm going to be the chief of staff, I can guarantee you I'm going to learn my job and I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. I ain't going to half-step it. I can tell you that right now. I ain't half-stepping nothing.
I have to make some serious decisions because I want a serious staff.
Absolutely.
And as I come and go, I want to be able to leave stuff in the folks' hands and get stuff done. And I would tell people up front, if I give you a shot at something, whether it's you or anybody else, if in 3-6 months you ain't working out, don't get mad.
No.
I'm going to trade you for somebody.
There you go.
I mean, this is a serious business when you're taking care of folks.
Yeah.
And I done seen people get them jobs and they buffaloing and fooling people, and I ain't down with that.
Yeah, you're right.
What tripped me out, I've been in church with Neely and them over 30 years. And people have heard me say this before. My dad baptized Neely when he was little.
Really?
And married him and his wife when they got grown. My dad was the pastor for over 27 years. I stuck with him, Shiloh, Michigan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The church I'm at now, I told you daddy built Shiloh. House. He went to Bill's new house.
Yeah.
So what tripped me out when Neely became mayor and his brother-in-law, I'm gonna call him, the Murdoch and Mary. I said it. When he jumped on me in Rue and went to slapping my face, got my bag off of me and Neely, we from the street. I said, you don't touch the councilman's face without permission. I say, if you want to touch my face, that's permission. Say, Councilman, may I touch your face? And I said, bitch. He said, don't call me that. I say, well, and then I called him that and he swung and then charged me. And I ended up going to Hurley Hospital. But my point of telling that story is, Neely been in church with me for 30 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what Murdoch told him the next day. But he didn't ask me what happened. And he issued a press release. And it said I had walked in. I was with DeJuan Robinson and promo people with Black Lives Matter. I walked in.
Shit.
We got a table. And when they went to order chicken wings, and I was playing Club Pino. Yeah. But Neely issued a press release on Mayor Letterhead said that I walked in and told Murdoch I would kick his F&A. That was a lie. Yeah. When I seen that, I said, this guy is nasty. He lying on his church members. That embarrassed me in front of all the people I went to church with. In the city of Flint from years, from Canaan with Rev Robs, and I go to different. I say, this guy done purposely embarrass me. He nasty. He be calling Quincy and Liddell and them down there playing games with them. Then they bring some of that up in council meetings. Whatever happened between him and Tanya Burns now, she was helping him at first. And was working down there, and then something happened. She tried to lay off or whatever. I say, fire, let go. And now she over there with weaving them. And that's fine. But leave me alone. Because Miss Burns, I want her and anybody to know. I can pay attention. I can multitask. I can see what you're doing. I can see what you're doing. When I look at Juan Perez, Davis, Maurice Davis, Kate Fields, and even them, I'm trained at multitasking. Try a different political angle. Build yourself up. Learn what's going on. Don't try to make a reputation off, can you handle me? Yeah. I'm going to pray to God and try to handle myself. But I ain't up for foolishness from no politicians. It just don't even make sense.
So say let's be proactive. Say you in the mayor seat. It's your seat now. You are mayor of
the city of Flint.
You are mayor of the city of Flint. What Because I asked everybody this. I asked Councilman, I asked Dr. Karen Weaver this, so I'm asking you, what are your top 3 action items to move the city of Flint forward? What will be your first top 3 action items?
Public safety.
Okay.
You gotta make it safe.
Yeah.
When people have car accidents, when they dial 911, they need response. You shouldn't be sitting in the middle of the street with a tow up car for an hour or two waiting on the police.
Yeah.
If somebody shooting at your house or somebody threatening you and beating you up, misdemeanors is just as important as felonies.
Yeah.
You got to respond. We got over 8,000 complaints backlogged in the detective bureau. I didn't say 800. I said over 8,000.
I heard that.
And I'm going to make sure folks is hired to sort through that stack, get it under control. If folk in that stack 5, 6, 7 times, they got my attention. I learned something from the Murdoch incident. You know, that could be nasty because look at me. When I was about 28 years old, I bought my first gun. Somebody broke in my house, told me they were looking for me. Man, my windows was broke, stuff was tore up, and I had bought a 357 in wood under my jacket. And we prosecuted in a jury trial. But I almost, that was that close from somebody getting shot and killed when I come to my house. I'm telling you, I was in love once. You believe that?
Yeah.
And I come home and the locks was changed. Girlfriend had changed the locks. I had stayed gone 2, 3 days. You know, I kicked the day. I was losing. But anyway, I had to represent myself in that trial, but the point is, folks lie.
Yeah.
If people living with each other in a domestic situation, don't lie and say this person ain't living there, change his life. Just go through an eviction. So public safety.
Yeah.
And getting that department fixed, manpower-wise, complaint-wise, that's priority. Because people want to feel safe.
Absolutely.
Then they'll move in, they'll build houses and do jobs and economic development means Jim Anderson, Senator Anderson called me about 3 weeks ago. He is the first to tell me we'll see if it's true. And he wanted to come to the council of the president because he knows that we're in campaign season. And he knows he had information that somebody had bought the Buick City property, and then they could put one of them big Amazon things there. So, you know, people be jockeying. So public safety, jobs and economic development, and then people call it blight, but I like to call it cleaning up the city, making sure things is right. So that's the ship I want to direct. I want to fix public safety. I don't want a lying or dirty police chief. Just like yesterday, my best opinion, Chief Green heard Tanya Burns tell me F you, and I'm standing right there just like me right here. I said, did you hear that? He said, no. I'm going to leave 10 to 15% error. I say, now what if I had a cussed her out and did y'all hear about it? Now I'm going to bring it up in council meeting. Y'all look and see when I bring it up, do she deny she said that? Don't try to talk all proper and stuff in a meeting, portraying me as ignorant, and then you really might be more ignorant than me. Cussing is cussing. It's easy to cuss. It's hard for me not to sometimes cuss. But
me too.
I don't really do it like, and even in elementary and high school, when kids walk to school cussing and had pocket knives, we thought them was the bad kids.
Yeah.
I was getting all A's and 1B and going to church, and I was scared to cuss. I hate when I got grown because I cussed some more than what I should. I'm like, I'm thinking you go to the devil.
Well, you know what's so funny about that? I learned my best cussing at church.
No.
Listen, I learned my best cuss words from the church. I learned the best ways to use it in a sentence. I learned my best cussing from church.
Well, Brother Ralph used to tell us about going to hell.
Yes, he did.
If you tell one lie, you're going to have to tell another. And so, you know, it's just the way I am. It's the way I'm brought up. You're supposed to be honest, trustworthy, but we as mortal men. I tell people Jesus turned over the tables of the money changers on how they was acting in the temple.
Yeah, he tore it up, didn't he?
Right. I don't mind getting upset and mad. And I don't mind standing up for folks because I could be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a public figure out here, people lying on you and portraying you a certain way, it's folks that just walk up and shoot me in the head. I believe that. Don't know me from Adam. And so I pray. I believe if what I've learned is right, by being truthful and honest and trustworthy, you can make it to heaven. You don't have to worry about all of this mess that go on. But I ain't gonna walk on water. I ain't gonna part the Red Sea. I don't think there's nothing inside of me different from nobody else. I'm a regular mortal man. And at some point, you fool with me, I'm gonna say something back to you.
Because you're human.
That's the way it is. Yeah. And so I wish people could just love each other, get along, concentrate on problems, making it a better quality of life. I noticed that church. It's a true story. Some of the older folks don't know this is true. I was at Canaan. Canaan had a split, and Canaan had bought a new building. It's known today as Christ Fellowship. And that split. And Daddy there was deacons and trustees. And I'm going to paraphrase what happened. When that split happened, you had a lot broke out in the church. Stuff saying and did. You know, trustees sometimes, today and back in the day, carry guns because they were
having a lot of money.
So, people don't know. I come out of a church family. Now, I ain't saying what you said. I didn't hear people hear me and cussing, but I seen some stuff.
Yeah.
And it made me be humble. I remember when Daddy died. And they voted me on the pulpit selection committee at Shoutout. And we interviewed 20, 30 or more pastors and preachers. And then it was a deacon. He was the chairman of the deacon board. His name was Aaron White, Deacon White. And in that church meeting, when it got down to the last two, people thought I was going to do the church politics like the downtown politics. But I cleared that. And so I did it different. And it was close who was going to be the pastor. Pastor Daniel Moore was the pastor now. In my opinion, I was one of the first ones to call him and tell him he was going to be the pastor because he was over at Antioch with Pastor Randolph at the time. And Pastor Randolph was the moderator. And Pastor Randolph came over to Shiloh in the middle of that election, and Deacon White put me in front of the membership body because I was on the pulpit selection committee. Daddy had been the pastor. And we had a smooth transition with two pastor contestants. The bylaws and the rules, I won't get into it, but Daddy had left some bylaws where the Bible was at the top. All them other rules came secondary. It's like suspending the rules in a council meeting and using common sense. And so I was very proud of how I operated in the political arena of the church. And so they can say what they want to about me. They can say what they want to about church and honesty and trust and belief. But my life experiences done taught me some of these folks ain't no better Yeah. We all fall short, and people better
Absolutely.
be careful.
So there was also a question about what about the water? Is that on your list of things to fix?
The water.
The water.
Let's look at the water.
Let's look at it.
Back in 2014,
Okay.
when they were switching, and they switched the switch, I was back.
Yeah.
We never trusted the Flint River.
Yeah.
We didn't have no idea they had to put corrosion control in. But once we found out, people were breaking out with rashes and hair loss, and it was coming out brown. We paid attention. I remember Leanne Walters and them coming by my house. I remember getting with Pastor Randolph, having a town hall meeting at Antioch. I remember calling Pastor Harris, and we used to do stuff at his church. Aaron Brockovich sent Robert Bocock in the first big timers who came in. It wasn't Mark Edwards and Dr. Mona Tiana. It was Aaron Brockovich who sent Robert Bocock in, who at Saints of God's Church told us of no corrosion control and what was happening. That's important because, in my opinion, what's her name, Leanne Walters and Melissa Mays and them, for Lisa Flower and them, it was some white folks digging and finding stuff out, but they didn't have no crop. They didn't have all of the facilities. So that's why my political self told me touch bases with Pastor Randolph. He did a good job. Touch bases with Pastor Harris. Pastor Harris then delegated some of his concerned pastor responsibility to Pastor Overton and Wallace Hill. We was meeting Claire McClain, Leanne Walters, Melissa Mays, Naira Sharif, and Gina Dennis Somerville, and we had meetings. I was elected and had asked to be involved in it. And so I remember being at the Afro-American Hall of Fame down. Guess who was sitting at the table next to it? And I told him, we need to talk. Trishelle Young.
Okay.
That's the first lawyer who I brought in, and she agreed to come in. I got in trouble for bringing her to the little closed door meeting with Leanne and Claire and all. You didn't ask her. I said, well, yes, you don't want a lawyer. She ended up putting a group of lawyers around me. We know her now. It's them class action lawyers.
Yeah.
And then, what's that guy used to be on TV? Some folks contacted me. Hill Harper, yeah. And then we, Pastor Miller at Metropolitan, contacted him because I liked his style of Metropolitan. He let us on a Sunday have Hill Harper and them lawyers from Napoli and Skolnick there who was out on Flushing Road. We brought him in. Some people don't know what role I played in pushing to get the emergency declared.
Yeah.
The strategy to declare the emergency was brilliant, and it worked. So what tears me up about the water is that Neely wasn't in that fight. Neely was the state rep, but he wasn't in that fight with Weaver and some of us. And, you know, if I could stay rep, I'd have been all down in council meetings. I remember Pastor Overton.
Especially if it's your city.
Yeah, Pastor Overton told me, Mays, put a motion on the floor to get off of this river wide and go back to Detroit. And so I listened to Pastor Overton. That motion to go back to Detroit, even though we passed it, the emergency manager wouldn't let us go. But as we got deep in that election and that water was really messed up, Dane Walden there in October, I think it was 2015, tried to call a press conference to say we're going back to Detroit, but it was too late.
Yeah.
He wouldn't declare emergency, he wouldn't listen, couldn't get them. They had knew too much and kept their mouth shut. That's why I say sometimes when you condone wrongdoing, you just as guilty as the wrongdoer. So they messed up the water settlement. In my opinion, Gretchen Whitmer and Neely came in office. In my opinion, Neely shouldn't have ever had Deep Weed. He should have stayed where he was at as state rep. But he knew it was time to it out. And so he ran and looked at Gleason. Gleason and Neely had a press conference 2-3 weeks before the election. Neely beat Weaver by 205 votes.
Okay.
Something like about 205. And it was because of that press conference. He had lied on him with the county clerk, talking about Weaver and Gilbert was passing out absentee ballots. You can't pass out absentee ballots. You have to go through the print and print them up. You can't even pull it out. I knew it was a lie. I thought that the NAACP would raise an issue about that because of the relationship with the NAACP would give her. And so I passed a motion, the record would show, to subpoena Gleason and Neely and me, because this is the first time in the history of the city of Flint 2 blacks had made it through the primary.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Gleason interfering. I really had him in trouble. Kind of remind me, you say some people don't listen. I'm about to get murder out there. People don't listen. You got to listen to people. That's what I'm going to do with me. I'm listening to somebody now over on the other side of town. Came to council meeting. House was shut up. Confiscated the car. And let the person who owned the car kind of go.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this.
I
Call me. And so I'm saying, we got to do better. Your original question about the water, they shouldn't have settled that. The way they did $1,000 cap on grown folks. I agree that children should get paid. But you settled for $600 million, $200 million or so coming off the top to attorney. You should have maybe settled for $1.8 billion.
Yeah.
You know, you look at them other cases where Larry Nassar mentioned that people getting paid, they get about $900,000 people. Yeah. They came in and messed up all that hard work. Neely now agreed to shortchange, and then some council members who hadn't been there. So that's the civil aspect of the water. Will it be any other lawsuits? And who will be included in them? I ain't holding my breath. Because some of the statute of limitations time ran out on some of them to sign up. But now, that's the civil litigation. Look at the criminal prosecution. When you conspire to do wrong, whether you're an emergency manager, Walden was over the particular department, the governor and them emails and hide stuff and what they do, you have let it be me. They stopped me from becoming valid. I couldn't be mad back at that time, but I was active. We got to stop him, you know. Let that be me. I'll be under the jail. Probably been in the jail and all that. So I'm looking at the criminal prosecutions. Kim Worthy and her mom and Dana Nesselman should have never dropped some of the charges. We paying $7 million a year for a KWA pipeline that's been built with our bond, $100 million bond. And we don't own it. That was a fraudulent bond sale. It should be a prosecution for that fraudulent bond sale. Since it was fraud, we should be able to get out of the deal that we're in now. And so,
who did that?
Who did the fraudulent bond sale? The department in the state of Michigan used to be called the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. Now you can refer to it as evil.
Okay.
Well, there's 2 guys in that department who sworn testimony in court when Ty Flood was prosecuted. Brisby and Bush. They kind of got evidence on the record of admitting to the fraudulent bond sale. We out in Beach doing this. This was a lagoon out off of Gray Road that needed some work or repair. Whenever you got an emergency repair and you put a bond sale out there, a bond sale for the average person is a loan.
Yeah.
You borrowing on the credibility of the city of Flint.
Yeah.
But when you under emergency manager law and you got a $12 million deficit, your credit rating shouldn't even be used to be borrowed. But when they put an emergency in there and put it on the bond market, then people think it's a good investment. I'll put my money into that bond because this is an emergency. The municipality, they're going to pay it back. It wasn't no emergency. That was the fraud. That was the lie. They put an administrative consent order in there, the sale, the bond sale, and get that $100 million to be able to KWA project. And now we on the hook for some payments. Where everybody from the Detroit News to the former prosecutor, Ty Flood, now was prosecuting it. And you asked about the water. Will Dana Nessel, Hamad, and Tim Worthington prosecute that and get us out of that? Will Snyder there do any time? And all of this conspiracy and mess didn't care about us. And then you got the current water conversation.
Yeah.
When you don't cut folks' water off for 2 years,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you got COVID is over and you start cutting folks' water off, ain't helping them get back to zero or whatever. That's a problem. When the water prices is high, you know who control the water prices in the city of Flint?
Who?
5, 6 council people.
Please don't say that.
We control it. Watch this. I guarantee.
Wow.
In the next 2-3 weeks, we got to adopt the budget.
Okay.
It have to be adopted by the first Monday in June, according to law.
Okay.
I guarantee you gonna hear say a term called a master fee schedule.
Okay.
Look at them words. Master.
Yeah.
That means all the fees in the city of Flint, and then fee.
Yeah.
Master fee schedule. We can go on any item on that master fee schedule and make it go up or down with 5 or 6 council votes. One of the items on the master fee schedule is a $57 charge before you use a drop of water each month. It's a service fee. So that's why when you see in some of our county, the water bills be $30, $40. Ours would be $100 because of that $57 or so before you use a drop in the master fee schedule. I've tried to get the service fee lower, but certain council people and certain mayors don't tell the council we can get by. If you can get by not cutting water off for 2 years, can you get by with an adjustment
Fuck
of the
yeah.
master fee schedule? You just cussed again.
Yeah, I'm a customer.
I got one question for
Hey,
you.
so if that's the case, can you put it in on it? I'm going. So
But you
if you are able to do that, Rich Jones been saying $0 to water for how long? Y'all can $0 everybody do it.
let me put it to you this way. When it comes to not cutting folks off for 2 years,
Yeah.
and if you ain't cutting me off, I didn't pay, but now I got a notice of a shut-off a day or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And I got to pay $485 of my $3,800 that I let pile up, and I got to pay it by, I think that notice said May the 22nd.
God damn.
So I'll pay it and try to keep my water.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the point is this. What about the people who paid their bill consistently? There's more people, I think, who paid consistently that didn't pay. So in my position, I can't just look out for those who didn't pay,
But
but I gotta look out for for those who did pay. If I zero balance those who didn't pay, I got to do something for all of those who did pay.
But that's what I'm saying.
Do it.
That's what I'm saying. So couldn't you zero balance them but credit the other ones?
It's things that I think we can do.
Y'all heard that? Y'all need to show y'all lessons at the council.
But remember, I'm only one.
Y'all need to come to council.
You're a messenger.
Y'all need to come to council. Y'all need to call your council people and get them on board. Y'all be crying the blues about this war and water. You know what I'm saying?
They keep me from getting wrongfully removed.
If they can, go for it, Nick. Go for it.
The two, I know you can get to.
Can they hear you?
Yeah.
Can they see you?
No, I can't see him. He my ghost. That's my ghost right there.
I was gonna say about the bankruptcy. I seen it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get into that.
Yeah, bankruptcy. Look at the messenger. That was Quincy Murphy. How we gonna go into bankruptcy that quick? If in fact, right now, do y'all or most people know what I mean when I say general fund budget?
I do, yeah.
You do? Let me explain.
Go for it.
The general fund is the money we can spend on everything. It's the general fund.
Right.
It's the main budget. For state revenue sharing, property tax, income tax. It ain't got no strings attached.
Okay.
Usually that money is divided between police, fire, streets, paying employees. Then we have grant money, block grant money. There's ARPA fund money. It's like a block grant money. So general fund money is really about $56 million or so a year.
Right.
One of the bad practices that went on the last couple of years that Mr. Neely been in office is you spending more general fund money than you taking in. Last year, why would you spend $71 million and you taking only in $56 million? Why would you spend $64 million proposed this year and you're only taking in 50 or so million? That's gonna put you in the hole. Yeah. Now this is an election year. Right. You got Quincy, council people. We'll see. There's only 2-3 weeks left before we set a budget. Right. You got folks who is allowing this deficit spending, knowing next year we facing a projected $15 million deficit. Yeah. When Weaver was in office, we had worked with Huey Newsom out. She had hired him as finance director. I was finance chair at one point until they got married. I was finance chair, but we ended up getting out of the hole with emergency managers and running them out of here from a $12 million deficit to a $24 million fund balance or surplus. Nearly them get in there in 2.5 years and then took us from a $24 million fund balance to a projected $15 million deficit. Now, he don't want folks to see this in this election year. Yeah. And people throwing me out of meetings as I try to discuss it because I've seen his staff double. Now, if I'm the mayor, you keep asking me. If I want to be reckless, I can bring you on, and 5 or 10 more. It's really unlawful based upon the charter because the charter dictates how many staff people we can have. Not only should I not be driving a city car, do you know how valuable it would be if I did like Neely Neal? Once I become mayor, I'm driving them vehicles around and using gas and insurance. I don't have to think, but it's been some irresponsible spending. Yeah. And it's trying to continue in this year. And the council, some of them who is being fooled by him, don't want to cut the budget and make the necessary expenditures. The beauty of the budget this year is that we have $94 million from the federal government that we can put in certain places and kind of fix some stuff for 2-3 years down the road. We ain't fixing to go into bankruptcy now, and people who tell people that is fooling folks.
Because that's what the gentleman said last night.
Quincy Murphy said that. And they brought in the pension folks. They call them MERS.
And they had a whole presentation.
Man, you could have did that 2 months earlier or a month afterwards. Right now is budget, because right now you probably owe about $450 million to balance your pension books. We paying probably this year about 30-something million to the pension fund. Them retirees this year, next year, or whatever, don't be scared. Listen to folks talking about we finna go into bankruptcy and all of that.
That's what they say.
And so I'm saying, now listen at this. They supposed to be concentrating, the last 2 weeks. Don't allow Neely and them to pass a budget where we only taking in $56 million in revenue, but you want to spend $71 million. Don't pass a budget where you're taking in $54 million in revenue and you want to spend $14 million because you want to drive cars, you want to hire folks, you're doing some spending. If it was, don't say nothing to me about that. If it wasn't for the COVID-19 money coming from the federal government, we might would have to lay off. But I see a way to do the budget with no layoffs. Some of those folks down there ain't making what they should make. They wasn't making $15 an hour, but that's the problem. You got to fix some of that. We just had some union contracts passed. But do you know, people were bucking up against me when I wanted to give them bonus pay, premium pay. Out of $47 million, it wasn't $2.6 million. I'm going to try to get them a second round of pay, but I don't want it to come on the pay period of their regular check.
Because it's tax
too much tax. And when I won president, I had to maneuver behind the scenes to get that done.
My mama said there's a problem with that basic math.
Well, he beat you. Mess with heroin, curse talking me. Hey, hold up, I learned how to add and subtract elementary and junior high.
I got to push back now. Flint schools, it got me out of the school.
Well, I graduated from Flint North.
See? Chris Taylor said he needs spending more money than they bring it in.
This is the question I got to ask.
But he don't want folks to know that in this election.
I see.
He want to hide that, and then next year we facing a $15 million deficit.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. We got took over by the emergency managers with a $12 million deficit.
Well, what you feel about that ethics and accountability? I wanted to get that before you leave.
Who
wrote the letter?
Who wrote the letter? Thank you, Mickey, for bringing that up so soon. Who wrote the letter? Who wrote the letter?
They know what letter
y'all. Okay, so do y'all know the letter that we're talking about? Hold on. Let me get copies. You know what letter we're talking about, y'all? So you remember that letter that they drafted up to get names out of there to be the president? That letter that they said came from the Ethics and Accountability Board, the one that Dr. Liddell Lewis said, read the letter. It's on my page. Y'all remember she wrote that in the chat somewhere on one of my shows? She wrote it in the chat somewhere.
This chat stuff.
Yeah, she wrote it. Hey, she came on my show. She wrote it in the chat. She said, read the letter. See, they say yes. Look at all the hearts and stuff going up. See, they know. They read the letter. So who was it?
From the Ethics and Accountability Board. And it was sent to the whole council.
See,
it was saying to the whole council, y'all need to get it together. It was not criticizing me as one council. It was council person. It was criticizing me and the whole council about how the council has been acting and behaving, and that they need to update their rules. Liddell, Lewis, and some of them read it as it was related to me. So we went to the Ethics and Accountability Board, Pastor Gilbert, and my appointee on there is Carol McIntosh, and the different people on there. And they made it abundantly clear. We didn't write this letter in reference to Mays. We wrote this letter in reference to the whole council.
As a whole, me and 9 of y'all.
Yeah. And so they took the language out of the letter and put it in the resolution like it was talking to me, and Attorney Tim helped them draft the resolution. And so when the Ethics and Accountability Board found out what they had done, and they next meeting, they called Attorney Kim in. They called all the 6 council people in who didn't respond. And I was ready to hear them
Me too.
correct the record and chastise them. But guess what? When we got this past week, cause y'all was there.
Y'all
was there.
We want to know who wrote the damn letter.
They didn't have a quorum.
No,
they needed 6 and they had 5. So it was no meeting. Attorney Kim and the 6 council people.
Only one council person was there. Judy Murphy.
Well, I was there.
You weren't the ones being called. The ones that the subject being called.
I sure wanted that to showed up.
Nobody else.
You know I wanted to make the newspaper because for the last week and a half or 2, I've been writing up my legal paper. I'm trying to file in circuit court to prove. Now, I ain't got my charter here with me, but for those who can pull up the charter, I think it's 1-603. 1-603 of the charter says whenever you want to remove an elected or appointed person, the police chief is appointed, the finance director is appointed, the president of the city council is elected. It's a 1-year elected term. I'm elected as a council person for 4 or 5 years. The charter, I think, is 1-603. If you read it, the removal of office section. You can't.
You showed me that.
Yeah, you can't change or amend the charter by suspending the council rules. The council rules is up under the charter. The charter is the main law. And the charter says in every case, if you don't remove an elected or appointed person from their position, you have to first publish and post to have a public hearing. You can't just come to no council meeting and listen to Attorney Kim. I'd like to put a motion on the floor to suspend the rules and remove Councilman Mays as president. So in the same section of removal from office for an elected or appointed term, it says in the charter that you can petition a circuit court and that any resident and the ombudsman have standing. So Attorney Kim there refused to give me legal counsel. The charter say when you are elected, whether it's the office of city council, whether it's the office of president, we're due legal representation. If there's a conflict of interest between the city attorney and our representation, they have to ship it out and give us outside legal counsel. He refusing to give me legal counsel, so guess what I've been doing at home? Writing, drawing it up. And if I get done at 5, hopefully the circuit court judge will say, President Mays, you're exactly right. They didn't post a notice for a public hearing. They didn't have a public and they violated your due process and reinstate me back in, and then they could do it right. I'll give it to them. But right now, I got to prove that 5 or 6 maverick council people, they get mad when I say learned council people. If I can prove and make headlines that they did it wrong and get restated back in, they can have it.
Yeah.
Because why would people act that disrespectful? I done found out from not just this council, don't let none of them through. Liddell Lewis, I told you I was through. I knew she would be president. Tanya Burns, act like she does. I've been on 3 councils. Me and any other council person to be president if they need.
Yeah.
Herman Rhoda wanted to be it. Kate Fields wanted to be it. Quincy can talk all he wants. Let him think he got 5 votes. He sure would want to be council president. I probably miss a meeting myself. But the point I'm trying to make, you got ambitious people doing just a wild thing. And some of it is because they some learned politicians.
Yeah.
And, you know, it ain't even about all of that. And if I'm right, some of them don't end up just like some of the past council people. Some of them might get recalled in November. Some of them ain't gonna win re-election. Some of them you can't tell. My dad and them used to say, and it applied to me, he told me a hard hit make us all.
That's what they said.
Yeah. If you find out this is your like, as accountability, you find out. Well, we know that we're serious.
Yeah.
But what if you find out they say you found out a council person did on that? Should they be removed from their seat?
It was a council person.
I'm gonna say election.
If we don't know who it was yet.
Well, we just gonna say election.
That's why I want to know who wrote the letter.
I'm just saying
That's why I came to the meeting. I'm not gonna lie.
The accountability board not constructed the letter, but your question should be who sponsored the resolution with Attorney Kim? Who is the council person that sponsored that? Was it Herman Rhoda? Was it Burns? Was it Liddell Lewis, Quincy Murphy? I don't know who it was, but somebody went to the legal department and helped sponsor that resolution. And between the city attorney and that council person put that language in there to mischaracterize what the Ethics and Accountability Board was saying. That's my best theory. We'll see. Will the Ethics and Accountability Board have the wherewithal to put it off? Because I tried to get them money for lawyers and subpoena for 2-3 years now. And people keep turning it down. What if they scared to let the ombudsman and the Ethics and Accountability Board do their job? If they was equipped and funded right, I wouldn't have to draw up my own legal paper.
Just ask your own question. Because if you fund them, they won't be able to do the madness that they've been doing getting away with it. I really want to see, if it's being illegal, I want to see whoever did it lose their seat. That's just me personally. Because you were shopping. Won't nobody else try it again.
Well, I guarantee you, from what I see, they didn't follow proper due process and procedure in order to remove me. Tanya Burns made a point about that due process and procedure, even though she requested the legal opinion. She did come back and make a point that she couldn't vote with that improper.
Now she
Jerry Winfrey, she wasn't there. But the other 6 include Piper, Priestley, Liddell. They voted wrong. If you look at that meeting, I was chairman. They voted to suspend the rule. I guess they thought I was going to vote no. The record voted to suspend them. Now I'm chairman. I'm the presiding officer. They trying to get the flow. When you suspend the rules, I can talk, filibuster, do. You wait to get the flow. When I didn't give them the flow when they went to over talking, got up out their chairs and left. I hit the hammer. This meeting is adjourned for lack of a quorum. They came back in the meeting, led by Attorney Tim. You can see him walking down the aisle in a group of 3 or 4, because he told them they could deliberate and communicate outside of a council meeting, which you can't.
Right.
I can prove it to you in an open meeting that deliberations around the horn conversation is illegal. They came in. The police, you can see the police keeping me out. In the video, the police telling me I can't even come back in a meeting. I say, well, ain't no meeting. It's been adjourned. They have to post and do it over. Not only did they vote to remove me and what I said was illegal meeting, but they also voted $16 million to the land bank. Some of these money and what they voting and doing while they trying to screw me around. If I had a high price lawyer, they might rule and find in court that some of these financial transactions ain't legit. That'll trip you and them out with.
Yeah.
So this is serious business. And you got people, what be tripping me out is Hurricane Road and them laughing. Black folks arguing, folks laughing. I said, man, we got to do better than this. Christy tripped me out when she tried to condone certain behavior because she said she went with a color man. I said, dang, we say black now, but I guess you can say color. It tripped me out when Evil Virgins got caught saying under what ghetto, and me and Hurricane Road got nervous. And said, I gotta vote against you, Evil. I'm saying, yeah, dog. So it's been a lot of things that's been revealed. And I'm saying, when Quincy Murphy kind of implied that if he was still about that life, something that could have been different. With me, I look at that as physical. When Miss Burns cussed yesterday after all this proper talking, I'm saying to myself, Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do, and I'm praying for me. Because, you know, people can bring home to you what they say.
Brittany Boy is cracking me up.
And we talk about dress code because I'm here. They panning. Ain't nothing wrong with panning. They can pan on me. Look at my square head haircut. Look at that.
Because you know, brother, we're here.
You say you ain't trying.
We're here. I'm talking about, I'm telling you, these hypocrites coming from on that other side.
And I see Mickey gave you the point at Rich Corbin, but don't act like I ain't seen that, because I seen that shit and I told you, don't play with me. Don't play with me. Find you some kids to play with. Don't play with me.
When I used to be on social media, I see some familiar names, the same people that used to be dogging and talking and throwing up. I don't want to call their name, but y'all got some characters.
Yeah.
That be popping up. It be the same people. I talk to good people from Mississippi, California, Arizona, whatever. But it be them same folks. Somehow, I mean, that's all they do. They must just move around and mess with folks. I guess they want to set the narrative for Flint politics.
So, Brittany,
y'all think I'm gonna get some votes in this man, bro? Will I get some votes?
You gonna get some votes.
So,
you think I'm gonna get some votes?
Yeah, I think you're gonna get some votes.
I think people support us.
Absolutely, I think some people support you.
Young, old.
Yeah.
What?
And in between.
It's a chance I might could make it through the primary.
It's a chance. You seen that number 21?
I ain't got to spend $100,000 and have literature and yard signs and do fundraisers and all of that.
You talking about the cleanup that they've been doing?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm slow to talk about cleanup because when it was the council race, you had folks helping people with cleanup. You had literature mailed out on people's behalf. Every time I bring that literature mailed out in dark money.
The hit dog house.
And I can show you literature. Y'all had to bring me on. I'll show you. Quincy's literature look just like Hurricane Road. They had these little men on it, sweeping and doing. It was yellow and the little man was red.
You got them? Because we read them on one show.
Yeah, I got that literature. I can show you a picture. And man, look, I'm telling you, we got to stop that.
Yeah.
We got campaign laws, finance laws, and it's hard to raise money and you got somebody. Now, according to one person, they told me they tracked who had printed that literature, and they said it came from a print company down in Detroit that Neely had used. So it was folks. We were trying to get Sister Audrey Hammond, and we were trying to get certain people to win so we wouldn't have to go through this mess.
Wow.
And when they mailed out that literature, some of it was $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of mail. When you do that type of illegal activity and mail in an election for a council race, that's what helps people win by 40, 50, 74 votes.
Right.
If it wasn't for that illegal literature, I don't think Hurricane Road would have been there. I don't think she'd have beat Monica
I believe you could have voted in the second and third ward. You wouldn't have the people that I know they don't like me, but oh well.
I don't believe, because in the primary, Dumas had beat Quincy in that illegal literature. If you go look back at the council meeting, Quincy admit he didn't know where that literature was coming from.
He said so much stuff.
And I'm telling you, Hurricane Road and them.
Quincy don't like us over here.
Well, they don't like me. And there's certain things that I ain't upset about.
That's one thing I ain't upset
about. Some people might like it too much, and you don't really want to get into it. I don't distress people. I just pray for them.
Yeah.
Because I ain't did nothing to you, but you making me not like you.
I'm sick of one on God over here.
I go back and look at them council meetings, and I be tripping. I see Liddell Lewis say I called the MF and B's. I ain't never called that. I seen Quincy saying that I'm a disgrace and whatever. They don't know I go back and look at them. Now look at this letter. See that people speaking doing, and that would be on the back. And then on the other side, it would be their picture.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Quincy looked, but Quincy's literature looked just like Hurricane Road. So if I bring these literatures, this is just what it is. But if I bring the literature in, you can see that the same people was printing this same literature, whether they was in the 3rd ward distributing, whether they was in the 6th ward. Now, when have candidates got together and designed all their literature the same? Somebody paid for it, mailed it out, and it helped them win by 40, 50 votes. Now, I ain't trying to take them out of office.
Receipts.
I ain't trying to take them out of office. But check this out. I put a motion on the floor to subpoena where that literature came from and who paid for it. You think I can get 5 votes?
Hell no.
So it's 2 questions on here. I want to ask you from them.
What do they mean by receipts when the deal?
That means you got proof.
Oh yeah, because they were saying I paid proof.
Yeah, Dr. Liddell Lewis had to say that. She liked receipts.
Because I won't say Dr. Lewis, I say Councilman Lewis or whatever. She went and got her degree and put it up on the glass.
I was there. I was there that day. Yeah.
Man, I be screwed way over to the side. I said, man, this person is a trip. And she be trying to use rules wrong. Warning, get him out of here. I'm like, what the heck?
Why is Quincy and her so pressed on giving me 30 days?
I don't know. I'm telling you, people, it ain't just this council. Take bills now. Some people's politics in their mind. If we can take Mays down, it makes us a hero. Now, I don't think that makes you a hero. But do you know how many council people that came and went with that philosophy? And me and Maurice was cool. I used to meet him in Beverly at the donut shop on Pasadena and Cloud Road when they were campaigning. And at the end, I'm saying, hell, I might could have worked better with Jackie Papa because this guy had a podcast and was telling people, y'all know Max. I'm down here. And if y'all was down here, I'm saying, man, he got me thinking I don't know myself. And people try to come at me and they should focus and concentrate on themselves. I don't know Black Quincy and Liddell is that adamant.
I promise y'all I'm gonna ask these questions. Just say, I gotta say one thing because of this. I know
we've been talking it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Y'all gotta take over, throw me out. I be talking to
you. You all right? You comfortable?
I'm on that.
Yeah, you all right. Listen, all right. So we talking about this, right? And you say they against you and they come on there just against you. And I know you haven't watched our show.
No.
It's okay.
I ain't gonna watch this one because I'm here.
No, it's not. You're here. You see it. But listen, so just so you know, I had Dennis Piper on.
What?
Yeah. I had Dr. Liddell Lewis on.
You got to be kidding.
I've had Tanya Burns on.
No.
Yeah.
This is a setup.
Yeah. I've had Judy Priestley on.
What?
She came on.
You got to be kidding.
Quincy Murphy won't come fuck with me, but it's okay.
We went to the White Station.
Yeah, we went to the
White
Station. And then I heard you had former Mayor Weed.
I did.
So you didn't have some good shows.
Yeah, you might into the hole right now.
Look at me, here I am.
Yeah.
I made it to the big time.
Hey.
I'm on here. Hey, what's up? Hey,
So listen, so Judy Priestley was on here, and you can go back and watch it. That's my receipt, y'all. This is my receipt. If y'all ain't watched it, for y'all trolls that's on here, then y'all go back and watch it. So Judy Priestley was on here, and I asked her. I said, what made you decide to get to run for city council? One of the reasons that she gave is she said they want her to come on there to try to settle you down.
You got to be this.
If I ain't.
Do you know that Mr. Gilchrist went by her house during the campaign? That's what I'm understanding. Picked up literature. And me and him went over to that high rise, on what's that center in Richfield Road.
Oh, yeah.
And, I work with them people. I done been over to that high rise. We done did all kind of campaign activities. So it's people who I know.
Yeah.
I got a consulting firm. I have to file certain politics on my taxes. And so she didn't even know I was over there helping her. So we helped her get certain votes. And, I can predict who Kate Fields was.
Yeah.
But it's kind of strange when you can't predict folks. It was best when we was just called to our face the N-word and shut up, boy. Absolutely. And I ain't saying that's what's happening here, but what I am saying, I didn't know she was brought on there to try to deal with me. I think she mentioned to me once that she was on the executive board of the Genesee County Republican Party. Did she mention that to you and your viewers?
No, but I know she got a big Trump flag in her.
Yeah, you check out her political philosophy. And I understand all parties because my degree is political science pre-law. But when I heard her try to justify something, and when I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm saying she might be a little off step because she tried to convince me and others that she was cool because she had a colored boyfriend. And we be saying black or, whatever. I'm not going to tell all whatever I am trying to convince some folks of who or what I am and what I've done. I'm saying to myself, some of this stuff don't impress me. I can help her and anybody else, but don't be saying publicly you coming on secretly some way to try to control keep me. If you hear, just say it and talk to me and we talk. Somebody told me today, y'all need to have a public conversation about in a council meeting on how they treat you and how you treat them. I said, I've tried to put it on the agenda in an agenda change. In certain instances, they voted down. I go on about my business.
I also asked her.
Ooh, you tell us.
I'll tell her. Absolutely. I asked one of my other questions to the council people is always, what's your plan for Flint? What is your plan? Like the 3 action items, and what's your plan for Flint? And she told me,
right.
I don't have a plan.
Basically, you should try to make a better quality of life, not just in your ward, but overall. Yeah. You gotta be a public servant. Yeah. You gotta answer your phone morning, noon, and night, and you gotta go the distance. Yeah. You want jobs in industry back. We got some of the most valuable industrial land, some of it in the nation, where Buick and AC and certain stuff was that. In this country, they ain't stopped building manufacturing facilities, whether it's General Motors, Chrysler, Ford. You got Amazon now hiring thousands of people. You gotta have the goal or the political will to make calls and try to bring big industry in. You gotta know that public safety is paramount. If you ever try to call the police or you need something, you don't want it. Yeah. And so public safety, any community, if you knew of a community, not Flint, but you just knew of a city, had the worst reputation for folks fighting and shooting and killing, would you say, oh, I'm moving to that?
Absolutely not.
You want to move to a city that's got a reputation of public safety and being safe. Yeah. Then if you knew a city where garbage was just in the streets and couches and mattresses and toilet houses, you don't want to move there.
Absolutely not.
You want to move where the streets is clean and you got sort of neat new housing and grass is cut. You know what tripped me out about some of the grass cut? They cut the front.
And leave the back.
And we cut the back. Shit, and I'm telling you, that's the craziest thing. Just cut it off.
Just cut it off.
I remember I bought a zero-turn lawnmower, and I was campaigning against Del Rico Lord. And I was cutting grass from Carpenter Road to Stewart in between Martin Luther King. I mean, we cutting out and people had crews and whatever. And do you know, it made a difference. It's things we can do. We can pay young folks in the summertime.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the best jobs I had where the money was good, even though I worked for General Motors for 30 years, one of the best jobs I had was a summer job with the road commission. Yeah. I bought my first stereo. We used to go to Milk Weiss Apparel And Avery's. Y'all know about Avery's and Milk.
I remember.
Y'all know nothing about Shadow Stripes. And, man, look, we buy our clothes in the summer. And that's what I want to see young folks do.
Yeah.
We should be giving them summer jobs, some of them first checks. That should be a big program.
Yeah.
And it ain't just cleaning and cutting grass, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If I had my wish, I would love to this summer spend some of that federal opera money and have so many young people getting their checks and jobs.
Yeah.
Now, why don't y'all and the public speak more at council meetings? Why is everybody talking on the chats and ain't showing up telling folks the truth, people right, calm down? Why ain't none of the council hearing this? Is all the council people reading and looking at chats?
They be in here. They be in here and they be watching. But let me tell you why I don't get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
I feel like people leaving me the fact of myself.
No, but let me tell you. You see me when I come down.
I know it. I be looking at you.
So listen,
people and all this.
But I work for GM. I work in Orion.
I used to be a committee man at Flint.
I believe.
Report secretary.
And I work in Orion, right?
Okay, I didn't know
my first meeting is at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
I gotta go to bed. Y'all be running long, and then listen, I got ADD, so I can't sit
long. You ain't studying them. You already independent, making your money, doing.
I am.
How long you been at GM?
I've been there for 2 years now.
You kid.
Yeah.
You ain't, but what? How old are you? About 48.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
How old you think I am?
You told me. You know something like that, but you told me you were 64.
I said, well, Judy she's 66 here.
Yeah.
See, now she tells me she was born in 1958. I was born in 58, and I think she was born on the 12th of September, and I was born on the 16th.
Oh.
And so she always keep letting me know she's older than me.
Y'all just missed the 3rd of September.
They always remember.
Yeah. Y'all don't know that me and him, we did a duet.
So
and that's Sister Muhammad's block party. We did a duet.
You recall?
What did we do? We did a Luther Vandross song.
I don't know.
We did a Luther Vandross song. I can pull up the fucking pull it up though.
Here, guess what I'm listening to on the radio? No, not. Well, I've been listening to Super. I'm your councilman. I'm your councilman. I've been listening to that Super. That's the first R-rated movie I seen after we had to eat all our food. Then we went to the movie, Mother Never to Know What was Superfly. And so I was tripping off Superfly. I had a little coat. And then
did you have the big butterfly collars and stuff?
Yeah, I took a bag of baking powder to the school and was flashing it like I was Superfly. And yes, I did. That's true. But then what I was listening to on the radio when I come in was Al Melvin and the Blues. The love I lost was a sweet. I would never, never love again. Now, I'm not going to say I'll never politic again, because so far I ain't lost yet.
Yeah.
Now, right now, I ain't lost. Now, if I don't make it through the mayoral primary, what would I be saying? The rain fell off. I would never run again. I can remember playing.
So here's the thing. Okay.
Now, y'all getting me through this primary. That's big news that make it through the primary.
Yes.
I know what to help people. Go ahead. I can help them folks.
I bless you. We need you to help.
Right.
But this is what I want to know.
Yeah.
So say, if whether you do or you don't, I know you always say, I'm getting to where I'm going, buy my first week or whatever, but you still gonna do the work. Are you going to, or will you, groom the up and coming.
Yeah, I'm grooming some of them now. Absolutely. If they talk about you, talk back about you. But I'm serious.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody set the narrative on you.
Yeah.
And don't let nobody run over you.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day, people didn't mind standing up and getting arrested for what's right. I don't like getting arrested, but sometimes you have to make a stand. Now, can you groom people how to be activists? Yeah. But can you also show people how to do budgets?
Yeah.
Can you teach them about the mechanics of resolution and ordinances?
Mm-hmm.
Can you teach them the way things work?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a guy who I mentor,
mm-hmm.
and he calls himself my intern.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to show people also how to win elections. I've helped people in their campaigns from Woodrow Stanley. If you go look at the Flint Journal when Mayor Sharp ran, Mayor Sharp, I was the third vice president of NAACP, and the police was beating up some folks. Miles Williams and Toby Harris, they had got beat up by police, hitting them with them guns. Gilmore and Hartley and them was the police. We got them right. I remember when Madeline Fletcher and them white police got to shooting behind the police department. Did y'all know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a black female, and they were new in the city of Flint Police Department.
Really?
And they got to arguing. The white men didn't want her drive.
Mm.
They got to shoot. You laugh. It made the Jet magazine. It was national news. They got to shooting at each other.
Yeah.
And then
my mom said she remembered.
Yeah, whether it was Williams, Woodrow Stanley. We did absentee ballots with Woodrow Stanley. It was Richard Dix, Kildee, the one who was congressman now,
mm-hmm.
and Woodrow in that primary.
Mm-hmm.
And we helped bring Woodrow through.
Yeah.
Juan Torres Davis come to me because Brian Nolan sent him to me because we had helped, we call him DB. We had helped DB absentees, and he won council. Now you're county commissioner. Juan Torres Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Monica Galloway says, I done helped so many people already who have been successful in politics. I've been blessed. Do you know how many times I ran? It was an article on me in the newspaper. You know how many times I ran before I won?
How many times?
It was an article 14 times.
You didn't give up.
Different positions.
Yeah.
So I've already helped you. There's people call me, just like we talking here. We could come on, excuse me, I could bring the charter. I could bring resolution. And so I want to teach people. I want to teach them, young, old, middle age, or whatever. And I think I'm doing it. This show has been educational. The way I operate in council meetings, I talk to council people call me from other cities.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell me, I wish you was down here on our council.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe I've been already mentoring folks, helping folks, and it ain't nothing I just got to start now.
Mm-hmm.
But they better check me out. Because look at it. Gray hair.
Check him out.
I used to be smooth, had my own teeth.
Yeah.
And so they better check me out because we ain't going to be here too long.
Yeah.
I would hope I could live to be 70, 80, 90. Yeah, but my sister called me. And for those who kind of know our family, 5 of us, I'm praying and ask people to pray. One of my brothers, we found something out.
Okay.
We'll just say it like that.
Well, we shall put him in our prayer.
Yeah, and, you know, lung cancer. So we praying. He the one that say, look, closer to me.
Yeah.
3 years on me. So
well, everybody that's
Kevin,
Everybody, let's please keep Kevin Mays in our prayers. Everybody, please make sure when you send it up to the big guy, you make sure that you send it one up to Kevin Mays.
Now, this Philip Blatto didn't know me talking about Mays ran for mayor, state senate, and a few things, but I ain't never ran for state senate or state nothing in my life. See, people just say stuff, and other people believe it. But I haven't seen that guy before. I haven't seen him on different stuff. Don't y'all believe that? I ain't never ran for state senate or nothing in my life. That ain't even true.
So
people just say anything.
There's 2 other people, all these people praying for you, brother.
Yeah.
So listen, there is a couple questions. One came from Brenda. No, it came from Brenda. It came from Becky Brown. She said, "Do you know?"
Me and Brenda talk a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I don't know. But
he said he was wrong. He said he got it wrong. His apologies.
Your apology accepted, man. But I'm telling you, the local offices I ran for county commissioner, city council, mayor, whatever. I ain't ran.
He said the media mess up too. He's sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can say. Whether it's Captain Hennessy, I seen a picture on Facebook. They had me peeking through some shades talking about past the Hennessy, and I'm saying to myself, I got a sense of humor. That's cool, and I like it when people talk and laugh back and forth. That's cool, but I just don't like to see people get hurt.
Absolutely.
By other people doing and saying foolish stuff. If I hurt somebody, or offended their family, I'm concerned. But then some of the folks who act the fool, you have to get with them. And you can say and do stuff, and it's all right. But they need to learn a lesson because it's all good. But don't go crazy. Everybody just relax, laugh, talk, be nice, show love. And don't get carried away.
Look at that.
Mays for mayor in 22. When you look at Mays, M-A-Y, and you look at mayor, M-A-Y.
Can't have no mayor without mayor. Because look at that S. Yeah.
Everybody gonna find something. Everybody gonna say, I didn't want to do whatever. But the bottom line is who you put around. If Mays don't put the right staff and the people around, and I'm eager to show and tell some people something, but if you don't put the right people around, and if you don't handle them people around to deliver services for the city, you got a problem. Now, if you can't get that council to do certain things, you got a problem. But I believe that I'm knowledgeable about how council works. Even this council, which is one of the toughest councils. You see what I mean? This council. Because look, you gotta be a strategist. Now look, y'all think I go to the next council meeting and be like, I'm really sorry for all that's been happening. I take great responsibility for what's been going on. And I would ask that you forgive me and I'll forgive you and we give it a shot. Man, I bet before that council meeting is over, plenty of been said something. Somebody have been tried to put me out. So my point was, as mayor, I think people be in awe with the mayor somewhat. And I believe that you can get stuff done, even with this council. But I don't expect for this council to stay the same. I wouldn't care if it's one or two of them. I did it before. I will be involved in trying to replace one or two people if they don't cut the crap. 2 or 3, they gotta cut the crap. Now normally a council person elected like myself don't get involved in that. They'll say, well, who is you? We're going to get you out. I done been here 8-9 years.
Right.
Do you think I'm going to be crying if I ain't the council person? But people better get ready to take care of them people. They drew the map and changed part of the first ward from Carpenter Road to Stewart, in between Martin Luther King and Saginaw. All that first ward, listen, Carpenter to Stewart, Martin Luther King to Saginaw. All that big block was the first ward. Guess what ward is going to be now? The third. Yeah. And I had somebody tell me, man, we don't want to lose. They taking the first ward where I'm at and moving it across Pearson, where you got cherry lime, green lime, or whatever. But I'm not going to turn my back on that first ward because that's the chunk from Philadelphia to Marengo to Root to Laredo. That's why I want new bills and rehab. So I don't care what ward I'm in. I don't care how they draw the lines. I'm going to pay attention to that area. And if I'm the mayor, they might well get mad because I'm going to show enough pay attention to certain areas. Look at me. Do I look like I could be a mayor? Do I sound like I can be a mayor? You don't want to hit no mayor talking about, can I be a deep voice mayor? I'd like to address the city today.
All right.
Yeah, I think it can be done.
You know what?
Have good people around.
So let me say this. I agree. You have to have the right people around you. And some of them that you do like this and say, cool it, bring it down, right? You gotta have the type of people around you. Because here's what I said, right? I'm not like whatever I say behind anybody's back, I can say today.
What you say behind my back? Spit it out.
I'm about to tell you. So I was asked, what did I think about you becoming a mayor?
Okay.
And I said, you are absolutely very knowledgeable. I said that you were borderline brilliant, is what I said. I said, I worry about his temperament sometimes. That's the honest. Did I not say that? I said, I worry about his temperament sometimes.
Look at my temperament.
Yeah.
Been on the council 8 going on 9 years. Yeah. Ain't really cussed nobody out like a sailor.
No.
That's temperament. I mean, because back in high school, college, whatever, we used to cuss and give it whatever. Even with Tanya Burns, they would have had. So I've been controlling that temperament in a public arena. Intentionally. Some people think I ain't controlling, but I'm intentionally saying stuff. Oh, my voice is booming. If you listen to my voice is booming, I listen to it sometime and I be, dang, am I that loud? So I can understand that. And there's nothing wrong with tapping me on the shoulder. You know how many people call and pray for me and send me scriptures and pray. Do you know how many people call and give me advice? Even my own brother, Reggie. They question my style. And I question it sometimes too, but now I don't think you have to let people just talk to you any kind of way and run over. So I always tell people, criticize me. Give me constructive criticism because the Lord has blessed me with a brain where I can take it and receive it. Yeah. You know, that type of thing. Yeah. What is the overall goal? Do you stay in office until you get 80, 90, 101? I'm fixing to be involved in this mayor.
I can tell you this. Dr. Karen Weaver, and I can't vote for nobody. I'm living city, right? However, you two are very knowledgeable. Very, very, very knowledgeable. And you are, I believe that you both have
the right agenda and the right mindset going through.
They're gonna make it through the primary.
You know what? I pray he does not.
Who is gonna be the weakest link?
I pray
Will it
that
be
he
me?
is.
Will it be him? Will it be her? I don't know. All I know is my goal is to try to get as many votes as I can, be in one of the top two, make it through the primary, take it one step at a time. If we make it through the primary with whoever, we'll run for November. Probably with Weaver, it'll be a more civilized campaign than with Mr. Neely. Because if he continue to do lying press release, telling folks half truth, calling me and anybody an insurrectionist, talking about good information when I know it's a problem.
Absolutely.
I challenge him, her, and anybody. You can put it together. I'll be here. Have a civilized hour or 2 hour form. Do you want to call it a form? I get my hair cut. I put a suit down.
Oh, shucks, now. You don't get that for y'all.
I'll be here. I would give his yo medium, channel 12, 25. Let's have a conversation and see what's going on. Hey, look. Word of mouth. 10 people tell 10 people tell 10 more. Give Maze a shot. Let's make
my mama said, "Oh, Cat Daddy."
Your mama said, "Cat Daddy." Now what does that mean? Cat Daddy. I see. I'm cutting my hair. I'm
Yeah.
Oh, that's your mom.
That's my mom. Yeah. That's my mom.
Cat Daddy.
Yeah. That's my mom.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Becky Brown asked me who was my mom. My mom on there, her name is Asia Q. That's my mother. And so, let me tell y'all this, because y'all say, what if they got a problem with this? Let me tell you something about my mama. She gon' step. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to about my mama. She gon' step.
You better
she
not
said,
say,
hey, Eric.
You better not say nothing about her mama while I'm there.
Listen.
I can say something back.
Let me tell you something. So listen.
This was like this was a good show. I enjoyed myself.
It was, and let me tell you, it was good for me because it was good for me.
I said, no, he's definitely shot.
Oh, yeah. She said, you shot.
I don't know if Philip Loud always been. I just remember that name back when I used to be on social media. Yeah. God bless all of y'all.
Yeah. Look at all the guys going up.
God bless you.
Look at all the guys going up.
Man, can you sit up there with me and people off me at council meeting?
Will they let me sit back there?
Well, I say you are intern, a mentor.
Listen. Because Quincy Murray gonna have a damn heart attack if he be up there.
Water. She can't be sitting up there back here.
Yeah, they don't like me too much. Yeah, I want that for you.
You're always welcome. Keep having me on the show.
I got you. So listen, this has been a pleasure for me. Let me tell you why. Because I got to see you in a whole nother light, right? I got to really get to talk to you without everybody pointing order and setting you up, and just really get to hear your opinions and how you feel about things. So this helped me, right? And I'm sure this helps some other people.
It helped me.
Yeah.
It's good. Sometimes not to get interrupted and get
absolutely.
Yeah, Brenda Boyd, I do know what happened in the House of Esther. House of Esther was one of them 18 properties I kept from the land bank. It's houses that I'm going to try to get to people their deeds. We can continue to help people with property and houses. So, yes, I am familiar with that, Miss Boyd. And, you know, we talk anytime. It's a lot we can do to help folks.
Absolutely.
And I want to prove it. Even with summer going on in the next 2-3 weeks with this council. Watch close and see if any budget amendments are made. Will they kill the messenger or will they approve things that's going to be good for the business of the city.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get off of this show. I'm
You
gonna go smoke me a cool
You got any?
pound.
So, do you have any closing words?
Do I have
You have
any
any closing words for people?
Yeah, God continue to bless me and the city of Flint.
Yeah.
And people can believe it if they want to believe it. But I think we're sincere. And the last word I'm going to say is the scripture that I found when Mother had underlined it when she passed. Proverbs 3rd chapter. I've said it before and I will say it many more times. 3rd chapter, 5th and 6th verse. Trust in God with all thine heart. Lean not to thy own understanding. Acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. God bless you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm going to smoke.
So,
Now, can you cite a scripture and smoke a cigarette and still make it to heaven?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to smoke.
All right. Listen, y'all. I thank y'all so much. Look, I thank y'all so much for joining us. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Did y'all enjoy him? Please chip in the chat. Y'all enjoy him? Did y'all enjoy him? They said bless you. My mom said bless you, sir. Yeah. Look, did y'all enjoy him? Did y'all enjoy that? Did y'all get to see him in a different light? Did y'all get to see, some things that y'all wanted to see, hear some things y'all wanted to hear, get all these folks together and all the trolls, let them watch, let them talk about it somewhere else. Here we gonna be respectful. We can laugh and we can joke and we can do all of that, but I really don't want the whole extra disrespectful things and attacking people's character and things like that. I just really don't want that to happen here on this show. So y'all can get, that's one way to get me fired up is doing that. Don't do that. So I appreciate y'all listening to me and always abiding by the rules. Because they mine, damn it, and I set them and follow them or get on. So y'all talk about them somewhere else. The way that y'all want to talk about them, we can laugh and joke here, but that's it. Jaleel, I apologize. I did not get your question, but however, I will ask him that. I will get the answer for you, and I'll send it to you. Okay, I promise. I apologize. So listen, I love y'all. You know what I always tell y'all. I need y'all to always remember. This is mental health awareness month, as a matter of fact. But I always want y'all to love on yourself, love on each other, right? Because what's better than you? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing is better than you. Listen, y'all, I need y'all heard what he said. I need y'all to show up to those council meetings. Come, show up to the council meetings. Ask the questions. I don't stay long enough to ask the questions, but you know what? I might take a day off and make sure I stay. I'm going to work on it. Y'all pray for me. Anyway, I need y'all to make sure that y'all love on yourselves because there's nothing in the world that's better than you. I need you to make sure that you love on yourself so that you can love on somebody else, right? Make sure that you take some time out to do the things that you need to do to make sure your mental health is there. May 15th, don't forget, Rising Star Baptist Church, Dr. Reverend Devontae Powell is having his anniversary. I think it's his second anniversary. At 5 o'clock at Robinson Star. I think it's the address is on Flint Park, 501, 509, 5. Oh, I was right around it. 502 Flint Park. Dog it. I'm getting better. But listen, I'll be there, so y'all meet me there. Y'all meet me at the council meeting. Come on, y'all. Let's get Flint back. Let's do that. Come on, and we gotta help them do that. This mayoral candidate race, it can get messy, but if we keep the right things in mind and we do the right things, we can make sure that it's not, okay? So you have a choice. You have a choice between Dr. Karen Weaver, you have a choice between Eric Mays. We ain't putting that other sucker in. We'll invite you to speak at the forum, but I don't want y'all to keep bugging that sucker in there. You see what we got? Let's do something different, okay? Anyway. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You guys are the absolute best. With that being said, y'all have a great weekend. I love y'all. Good night. Peace.
You really, really hope.